Quack.
Quack.
Quack. Quack.
Well then, I'm your host, Adam Shemale.
And I'm Aaron Schroeder.
Oh boy. And this is the Quack 12 podcast, the most official, unofficial Oregon Ducks podcast on the web footosphere. And Aaron, I watched 4 Duck basketball games.
Good God, man.
I know. Some of them were pretty damn painful, too.
Now, okay, I will have to say, though, off the bat, that does make me feel better that you were able to watch them because my DVR only grabbed 2 games.
Oh, no.
Both of which were the men's games.
Yeah, I can tell you why. It's annoying.
And I went, oh, no. It's because the women are so bad this season. They're not even televising them.
That's the answer. Well,
you went to the games?
No, they were on live streams. Like you can go to goducks.com.
No way.
That's where we're at.
What's worse? Radio only or streaming on the school's website?
I mean, the stream can be pretty rough because it's truly like 2 different cameras there. There's like one up in the bleachers.
Yeah.
And there's the generic one that you normally see.
Yikes.
Sometimes there's only one. And then sometimes you'll hear like the radio guys talking, but then you'll hear the actual in stadium like speakers as well. And you're hearing both and say like it's pretty rough.
Love it.
Even for the Pac-12 standards, pretty rough production quality.
Now, do you believe that maybe that should be a cause for Nike to pony up some advertising money and maybe buy some slots during the Oregon Ducks women's games so that way stations like Pac-12 will air it?
Well, no,
like
you don't.
Even Pac-12 won't air this.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because there's the main Pac-12 feed that you're gonna get in most like basic or not basic cable, but whatever level of cable that you're getting the Pac-12 network.
Usually, it's an additional sports package. I feel
it is. And for me, like I had to pay the additional Sling sports package, and that at least you get all 6 Pac-12 channels.
Holy crap! There's that many.
There's that.
Maybe they should. Maybe that's what they diversified too quickly.
They do. Well, and in that one you'll have like Oregon, even when they're not the top slot.
Sure.
You'll still have them there at least. Fortunately, the Pac-12 network is on the way of the dodo, my man. It ain't gonna be around. It could be the Pac-2 network coming out. Who knows what the hell is going on there? But we didn't make the cut in the women's team, and the only thing that's gonna get us, I mean, if that slot were to exist next year, which it won't, but the only thing that would get us back there is just being a better team,
which we will be. By comparison,
hopefully, I don't know. I'll tell you, the trajectory right now for Oregon's women basketball is certainly not up. But before we get into Quackziball,
right?
I do have a little bit of Oregon football news. If you'd like.
Okay, great.
Now it's fun. I think it's fun.
Okay. Do I get to have a hot take, or is it just like
maybe
good times?
There's something to have maybe a hot take on. What's your take on? So we got the transfer portal. Yeah, it's really shaking up college football, as you know.
Yeah, sure.
For some people, saying it's definitely helping out the sport, helping the sport get into the future, giving athletes some more rights, rights that a college football coach would have. The right to get your shit and leave at any moment.
That's right.
Now, other people are saying it's killing the whole thing. You're not recognizing the roster anymore, and especially when one of your players goes to a rival, that's a huge deal. Yeah, and it's happening more and more. Aaron, I don't know if you remember this guy, but Washington had, I would say, a star cornerback for them.
Mm-hmm.
in a Mr. Jabbar Muhammad. He was
That
the
name
man
sounds
who,
familiar. I feel like I remember you bringing him up when we played them one of the times.
probably.
He was
And-
maybe pretty impressive the second time in the championship game, mayhap.
And I think he had like one pass deflection, but as
That
we
was
always
maybe
say,
it, I think. Yeah, that was the bring up, I'm pretty sure.
as we say though, when you're a cornerback, just because your stats aren't like flying off the page, that doesn't mean that actually could mean you're really, really good, and they're
Right.
choosing not to even throw to you because
Amen to you if you can do that.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
God.
He was the guy too that he had a move. He had a signature move after he would do a pass breakup or defend something really well. He'd go. For watchers on YouTube, I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right, you kind of.
It looks like he made a Superman.
Well, he made a
insignia.
box with his hands.
Made a
like-
box. Okay,
like
so
this
that's the
box. This throwing window, if you will.
Yeah.
And then he goes
Shut down.
2 thumbs down. Like,
Yeah.
not gonna work.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It was pretty fun. I mean, I hated it when he did it to us for
Uh-huh.
obvious reasons.
I would alter it slightly.
What's that?
I'd do the box,
Yeah.
but then I'd add the
Oh, that's a
The
threat.
neck
You mean
slice.
slit the throat.
the nope. Slit the throat nope.
That's gonna get you a flag, maybe, but it is pretty hardcore.
Oh, is it really?
I mean, doing a big, I'm gonna slit your throat. It depends on who the ref is on the given day.
You know
Like-
what I would do?
Like some people, that would be enough to get you a flag. His move.
You know the famous there's some kind of famous cartoon character. It's a little baby. She's having her diaper pulled down by a dog, and it has some
Oh.
kind of sun
Are you
correlation.
talking about? Yeah, the suntan lotion one.
Okay, sure. We all have
Yeah.
that picture in our image. We all know what I mean, though, when I say that. And she's like this.
Yeah,
She's like got her hand over her mouth.
yeah.
I would make that pose, right? But
Oh.
then I would wave my other hand behind my butt.
Like
So that way I'm like, ooh, stinky.
that's probably not getting you a penalty. So that's good. The other thing is that essentially, have you seen this one? Because a lot of football players and
I feel like I've derailed us with this.
No. Right?
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of football players do this one, and I in my head, I'm like, are they really talking about this? They go like, when like someone will point forward, like you got the first down, like first down, but they go like sniffing their fingers, like
Yep.
like as it like their 2 fingers. I think we
Yeah.
all know what that usually
Yeah.
means. Sniffing their 2 fingers and then doing the first down. And it's
Yeah.
like, is that what
I think
think
they're
it
able.
means?
I think they're able to get away with it because it looks like you're loading a bow and arrow. You're doing.
But it's so clearly that, and
Yeah.
it's funny too because if you did the neck slit, that'd be a penalty. But if goddamn Penix does 300 arrows into the crowd after scoring a touchdown, that's apparently fine. But if Terrence Ferguson spins the ball, that's a warning. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, that man.
I mean, Marshawn Lynch isn't able to jump backwards into the end zone while throwing a Michael Jackson.
Fined. I think he got fined for that one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. And he kept doing it because it's a stupid thing to say he can't do.
Yeah. I mean,
like
nowadays. Yeah.
Look, if these guys need something to have a calling card, right? It's just like a wrestler has their great lines, fucking cream of the crop, all of this kind of shit. Brother, they just need a package because at the end of the day, and to get to the end of the point or to the beginning of the point too here, because I have a lot to talk about already.
Let's start at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. I would first, if you're one of the people who is anti-transfer portal, I would have to ask you, do you gamble on college sports? And if your answer is yes, then you cannot be anti-transfer portal. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You don't get to have it, and the kid doesn't. But also, I'm all for hand signs because, as I was going to say, we're all about the money now for these kids. For me,
why not?
And so, if they can get a thing going that 10 and 12-year-old boys are walking around doing, then hey, that's jersey sales, baby.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun. And Lanning is down with it because to announce this, it was pretty fun.
Oh, what are we announcing?
No, to announce that Muhammad's coming over. He decided to be a duck.
I don't think we ever got to that part of the reveal because I derailed us on movement.
Well, the reveal, which was very fun, is Dan Lanning tweeted. I'm trying to check, just making sure. I'm fairly certain.
Yep, double check it. Make sure we don't want to lie.
And then a little box symbol, and then 2 thumbs down. Which is fun.
That's no good. That seems like
that's what it is. Box, 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, but it sounds like Dan Lanning is saying nope to the Ducks. Is he leaving and going to Washington?
Well, there were some mixed messages. I will tell you this.
It's cute. I get what he's going for. It works, but it has a double entendre that enemies will take advantage of, and we have to avoid giving any ammunition to enemies.
I should say Jabbar Muhammad tweeted that, and then I think Dan Lanning retweeted that. But also, some people have hated some mixed messaging where you get this in Seattle too, I'm sure, where people are very in the Northwest anti-umbrella. Have you caught this? They're very into the idea.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, they're very into the idea.
Use a raincoat. Duh.
True Pacific Northwest people would never use an umbrella.
It is rude to use an umbrella. People because, and I'm going to say this really quick.
Hey, we got time.
I don't actually believe this.
Okay,
but as a hot take,
yeah.
And as someone who only wears a raincoat, and I don't actually care if you use an umbrella or not, but using an umbrella is rude because I am 6'2". Everywhere I go, there are umbrellas directly in my eyeballs. I'm constantly having to divert myself. And when you're trying to do some downtown shopping, and all the stores have a covered awning, so there's no rain there, but yet everyone with an umbrella still chooses to be underneath the awning as well. It's
That's
like,
rude.
what are you doing here?
That's rude. Or like a bus stop and you got your umbrella out. Come on.
You know what I hate? I hate it when people are walking their dogs and the dogs have one of those hats that's just a little mini umbrella just over the dog's head.
Oh my God.
Disgusting.
How do you feel about when they have backpacks that are see-through and there's a cat in there?
I get that. I went to a high school that shortly after I left, they turned the policy into clear backpacks for all the kids.
So the cat would be fine with you, as long as you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jabbar Muhammad, they had a picture of him in a decal. To announce it, him jumping around in Austin holding an umbrella, and it was like, well, you're in the Pacific Northwest, so what's up with the umbrella?
But he's from Seattle.
He's from Seattle. He should still know then.
Tons of people, but see, we're all tech transplant now, like 70%. So it is full. It's umbrella game in Seattle. Is umbrella town now.
They don't know. And then the other thing is, if you're in Autzen Stadium, why do you need an umbrella?
It never rains.
It's never raining.
That one makes sense to me.
They should have thought of that one through, I feel. Aaron, so basically, I think the sign of a truly, truly, truly elite program like a Georgia or an Alabama, or even an Ohio State at times, is that they're like, we don't even need that many transfer portal like people coming into the program because we got such good freshmen and the backups and veterans are sticking around instead of going to the NFL. Like that's
until
the best
those
time.
Kids decide to jump into the transfer portal.
Yeah, no, exactly. But like Georgia on their best runs were literally like, we just won the national championship. And from that team, we have some people going to the NFL, but not that many transfers out. And we are taking no transfers in because we don't need it. And then they won the national championship again. Like, that's the highest level of like, holy shit, this roster is unstoppable. But just below that, still very, very elite as far as college football is concerned.
Yeah.
Is getting some of the best players to transfer in on a roster that already is really good, but has a few holes. We're at that right now. And
where are the holes? Quarterback, which I think we've pre-decided is our game plan, is we're always going to grab a senior.
We're certainly not going to not do that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, quarterback, you're right, was a hole, and we've absolutely filled that, you imagine, with Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore, two very highly rated transfers. You know, Dylan Gabriel was the highest rated option in the transfer portal at quarterback. And
if I remember correctly, Hithliday said you got to grow your offensive line. So, dear God, I hope we're not filling in any holes there. But I would gander a guess that we are filling in secondary. And
look at you.
We're probably also filling in some defensive issues that we had on the line.
I basically would say secondary's huge. Jabbar Muhammad, and like we had some transfers out of the program, and a lot of them certainly are making more sense now how things are shaping up. For example, like Cole Martin, he was a cornerback. His dad also was coaching for us and now is not. But Cole Martin transferred over to Arizona State. Power to him. We love Kenny Dillingham. We also got, for example, Damon David. He transferred out. He was a safety. Didn't see too much time. Triquez Bridges flirted with going over to Washington, but instead is over at Florida. He got quite a bit of time at cornerback, especially when Jaleel Florence was injured. Brian Addison transferring over to UCLA. So some of those players who were getting playing time suddenly decided to leave, and I really think it's because Dan Lanning's by the way, like he said, he tells people when he's recruiting them, whether they're a freshman or through the transfer portal, he tells them, just so you know, right when you become an Oregon Duck, right when you join our roster, we are immediately going to go out and look for someone that's better than you. Like, you are now the new bar, and we're trying to find someone better than you. And for some people, that's going to run you off. And for others, you're going to take that as that's the motivate, and if you want to be on the best team, that's the mentality you have to have.
Well, it's also so fascinating, right? Because you are entering them into the program as the program. You're saying you are the standard.
Yeah.
If you become substandard. I mean, what an interesting motivational tactic. I kind of, it's just so fascinating, the that level of the game. The getting kids to slip into the team mentality, but also love it. You hate it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough thing to balance because you got Washington, for example, who had this national championship team, and now all of a sudden everything has fallen off at the same time. Luckily, if Dan Lanning sticks around, that shouldn't really happen. We are the third best transfer portal kind of ranking, which is
in the world.
I guess you could say in the college football world, which is the world. So
that's huge. That's huge.
We got especially like you said, the additions to the secondary show where our mind was at, because we got Jabbar Muhammad from Washington, Cam Alexander from UTSA, University of Texas, San Antonio.
Yeah.
He's pretty highly rated too. He's a 4-star. Or I don't know if was a 4-star, if he's ranked as a 4-star as a transfer. I don't know. I kind of forget. Brandon Johnson from Duke. Duke had a really good defense. Kobe Savage from Kansas State. He was a safety. So we're definitely addressing those. 2 quarterbacks, like we said. We have to replace Camden Lewis. So we went over to Oregon State, got Atticus Sappington. Interesting name. That's like the most like that's like the rich fraternity in like Animal House. There would be a character named Atticus Sappington.
This is the character in Necessary Roughness that when you do the reboot of Necessary Roughness.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a football movie. It's a college football movie that's set at Texas State University.
Texas forever. Texas State actually came into the news recently too. You want to talk about that for a second? I got an interesting little. So, Texas has all these like, oh, Texas is hyper conservative. Here's a little instance.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah. Here's a little instance of kind of the opposite that's kind of fun, where Jaden DeLora, known bad dude, he was the quarterback for Wazoo. And then he transferred over, and then he was the quarterback for Arizona until Noah Fifita like outplayed him and replaced him. He transferred over to Texas State. Texas State's quarterback is like, oh, well, writing's on the wall for me. I'm out of here. But then because of his known Jaden DeLora, he admitted, I believe he pled guilty to basically sexual assault, not basically, I believe sexual assault to someone in high school when he was in high school as well. But he was recruited still, having known that, and even started in some games, in Arizona, like a whole season. Some of the coaches would get some, pushback of like, why are you starting this guy when he's a known sexual assaulter? Well, he transfers over to Texas State, and Texas State students are like, oh no, we're protesting this shit, fuck this shit. And then Texas State shuts that down, and so they, okay, never mind. And Jaden DeLora pulls his name out, like no longer wants to play for Texas State. And I just thought it was interesting where it's like, I don't know. So you didn't have to make the decision because like Arizona constantly was being like, well, we have to start this guy. He's good. We can't not win games. And that, let alone the fact that Noah Fifita ended up being a better quarterback anyways. But it's you don't have to start these guys. And I hope to God Oregon's never in this situation where we're starting someone who's a known terrible human being, because that's gonna be some moral questions.
We've had questionable individuals.
Not quite to this level where there's like sexual assault and they're still on the team and they're a starter.
Why am I so stupid as to not know where Texas State is?
I don't know. I assumed you would. But anyways, and we
San Marcos? Jeez, so tiny.
Really?
If it's the one I'm thinking of, though, I think they actually have a really good recording arts program there.
Well, there you go. They're probably part of the protests, my guess. Jamari Caldwell is another from the University of Houston. You know where that is. He transferred over from he plays on the D line. He's like a nose tackle. That's a crucial place for us. So that's also helping on the line, like you said, on the defensive line. And then not many more than that. Besides, we got like a running back, Jay Harris, and then Evan Stewart from Texas A&M, a 5-star receiver. Oh, that's huge. Like he should be like he's kind of like trying to replace the Troy Franklin role. Yeah. Obviously,
that's huge.
Had some losses,
that's a giant thing going on with the transfer shit.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, things are looking pretty good. Obviously, we're losing some too, but without being too insulting, I think so far it's all been only a positive.
Yep.
Especially to the secondary. I'm really hoping that gets shored up. Now, Aaron, I got a little button I'm about to push and it's about to theme song.
Quack's ball. Quack's ball. Quack's ball.
And we are back on Quack.
Quack, quack. I love that fucking song.
It's pretty cool. Maybe we should put it on Spotify. Maybe it'd do well. Get like 1 million listens, get like
Yeah.
$1. Sounds
Here's
good
what
to
you
me.
do. Here's what we do. I will upload it to all the
Mhm.
streaming services. We'll go buy ads on YouTube.
Okay.
The whole song will play in 5 seconds, which is
Mhm.
perfect, which is how long those ads are. That will count as a stream. We will make royalties off of that.
Does it hurt that I used the Curtis Blow basketball karaoke backing track without getting any permission?
Oh, we
Gonna hurt our chances there. Now,
I
Aaron,
wouldn't go
Aaron,
talking
my
to
man,
yeah.
I see you got a big bowl of empty oranges next to you.
Yeah.
Thousands of oranges you've eaten this morning, it looks like. You got a joint in your hand.
What?
This is about the time I need to ask you the question. Men's or women's basketball? Which one do you want to start with?
I think we're definitely going to well,
It's a tough one.
Yeah, because I do know outcomes. But let's go with the women. Let's pull that plug because it wasn't even televised, y'all. Live from GoDucks.com.
Well, honestly, Aaron, maybe sometimes it's a better thing to not be televised.
Because we won.
Because we won both of them, baby.
Wow.
No, it's not true.
Oh, no.
Instead of that, what would have been uplifting news? Well, let's start with, so we played against Utah, and this was pretty, I don't know, this is better than you would imagine. As if you remember, we are in a stretch of just ridiculously tough basketball for the women's team.
Right.
Like
it's going to be a drag for about a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, buddy. As of right now, like this is where we're at. We played number 16 Utah, then we played number 3 Colorado. Both of those were at home. Then we at home still number 18 Oregon State. Then we go on the road to play number 6 Colorado. Then we go on the road to play number 20 Utah. Then at home number 15 USC, and at home number 7 UCLA. So all ranked teams, all very good, all ready to kick our butts. All of them have already beaten us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
well, we talked about it last week, and we should probably just reiterate it this week for everybody out there. What we need to do as a team this season is realize that we're there to support the Pac-12 teams in getting as far as they can in the tournament that is coming up for them.
Saying
for
we're
sure.
A stepping stone is what we're saying.
What I'm saying is that we are a great practice squad because we don't stop fighting for the whole game. We give it nothing but A+ efforts, and they feel that while they lead by 12 points.
I mean, yeah, I agree. We're a good practice squad. Well, okay. We gave Utah a little scare, so that's good for them. Yeah. We're helping them out. This is in front of like goddamn 7,000 fans, too.
God almighty.
A good amount of people showing up.
And I mean, let's be for real here. This is a conference game, not televised.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here we go. 7,000 fans showed up. We actually started off really freaking strong in this one. And our defense, basically the whole game through, was really good. Like, / Utah was having a really surprisingly awful night. Like, usually they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams. They're one of the best offenses in the country, in the Pac-12 in general. Not tonight. And we started this game going off like an 8-0 run. Right off the bat. Utah didn't score until 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Wow.
So we were killing them. They got within like 10-7 for a little while, and they lead the country with like 11.7 3-pointers per game, and we're hitting nothing. And we actually, like, Chance Gray was hitting 3-pointers too. Like, we were really killing it for a little bit. And then at the halftime, even like we were responding well, and we did have a halftime lead, 29-21, and then just an absolute disastrous third quarter, disastrous second half in general. And before you knew it, like in the third quarter, we were outscored like 22-7, I do believe. And it was just off to the races from there. Like, not even, there was a little spark for a second by like Priscilla Williams hit a 3-pointer.
Right. She's trying to stay alive out there. She works hard.
We did cut to the lead like by 3 points. It was like 51-48. But from that point on, they just pulled away and they got like a 10-point. It was 58-48 in the end. And it was just unfortunate because it was there, obviously, and the whole time it felt like we're doing a great job limiting them to terrible shooting numbers, but that can change at any moment for them because they're a good shooting team, and you can't keep a good shooting team down the whole game typically. But you can keep a bad shooting down team. A bad shooting team down very easily, and that's what they did to us. Like, we were never able to have a dominant offensive quarter, and they showed up in the third quarter especially, but in the second half, and just another abysmal night for us shooting the ball. I got the stats here. They're terrible, heads up. Our leading scorers per use were Filipina Che, another good game from her, 19 points, 16 rebounds. For Chance Gray, 18 points, which is solid, but still 6-14 from the floor. She was our best 3-point shooter, as in she was 2 of 6. We went 4-14 from 3-point land, which for us is great, actually, which is a bad sign. And we shot 34% from the floor. 1/3 of the shots that we shot in this game went in.
Cool.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we held them to 34% shooting from the floor as well. So that's the amazing thing. Like, Kelly Graves' transformation of this team into a defensive one is working. But he's not turning us into a winning team because you still need to outscore the team.
Brother, one step at a time.
Yeah,
we'll start focusing on winning games in the off season.
Yeah, I mean, apparently that's the plan.
We're going to have so much tape from this season of where we grew defensively that shit's going to become muscle memory. Next thing you know, we're coming out flying hot 3-pointers out of the gate, 9-0 every game.
What not to do. We have a full season of what not to do offensively. Well, yeah, so this is a great game for that at least. So Utah continues being amazing. And then came Colorado, an arguably better team, some might say. And they were certainly better than us. I can tell you that much. Yes.
Better than Utah?
Yeah, better than Utah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, top of the pack, really.
Really?
They've had some huge upsets and are a really solid squad. I mean, yeah, they were ranked really high when they played us. They were top 5 team, top 3, I believe. And they showed it, my man, because at halftime, and I should say, that Utah game was huge, actually, because Grace Van Sluten was out. And our best scorer was out against Utah. So it was kind of amazing that it was even that close. But Grace Van Sluten was out due to concussion protocol.
Whoa.
So back for Colorado, though. That's usually a 1 week, 1 game kind of thing.
Sure.
We took on number 3 Colorado. And there had to be some rallying in this one. It was not a close game in the end, though. We lost 61-48, so we got swept by the Mountain Schools. And at halftime, Aaron, 31-11, Colorado led. 31-11.
Yuck.
we
Well,
hit 2 3-pointers in this game. 2 in a whole basketball game. And one of them was late. And we had injuries just to pepper that in. Yeah, I don't know, man. I hate it all.
well, it's just the nature of the beast, the causes of reality that float us through the cycle of life, Adam.
I guess that's one way to put it. Kelly Graves, it's funny, like, because now
how did he put it?
He's in the position where certainly like bad mouthing his team or being really harsh just helps him out in no way, because no one's getting better. Like, there's no like, if only I was yelling at them more, they would play. Like, there's just nothing to be gained from that. And he needs it to sound like we're moving in the right direction, even if we're not. So he said, the whole weekend defensively, we played well enough to at least compete and be close and win these games, Graves said. We just don't have enough firepower offensively. It's a struggle. It's a grind to score. We've got to find some answers.
Yeah, I've heard that quote before. He says that like that's. I tell you this, he's got it dialed in now. That's every line. He got every line in.
He's very well practiced now in that exact thing of being like, we just have to find an answer. It's like, dude, it's your job to find the answer. Like, literally, it's your job.
Well, I think we all know what the answer is. The answer is time, players.
And do we want to give him that time to hopefully? Well, the thing is, I'm willing to give him the time if our players, our best players, aka Grace Van Sloot, Filipina Che, and Chance Gray, all stick around. If they don't, then I'm kind of done.
If they bail, then if they bail, then we see that the issue is that players do not have faith in this coach, and they're hoping for something better.
Yeah.
So therefore, maybe we shouldn't have faith in the coach, but it's tough to tell because you want to get on those bandwagons, but then you feel bad because you're like, I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know what's actually going on.
Well,
but, I mean, they're not shooting well, and so that's all that really matters.
I'll tell you this. At the beginning of this season, I feel like I came into this season with the energy of like, I've got to really ring the fire Kelly Graves bell, right?
Right.
Like, so all can hear, because people don't need to believe and stuff like that. Now I find myself having to do that so much less, because a lot of Duck Twitter, a lot of the Duck community just in general, maybe people who aren't even Duck basketball fans per se, like they like football a lot more or something, they just kind of somewhat pay attention. They are starting to notice. They are starting to be like, okay, so we got to get rid of this guy, right? Like, a lot of that conversation is being happened.
Right. Because
I don't know if it's happening for the higher ups, though.
Well, the thing, here's what's tough about it to really parse out is you've got two points of interest here, which is one, the player pool isn't great. He's literally having to, and he has had to reteach basics to, not truly.
Yeah. No, I mean,
but like when you're saying we're focusing on defense and offense will come later, that's getting down to basics.
Yeah.
But also, he seems to not be awesome at recruiting. So is the player pool suffering because of his inability to coach well, or because he's just not good at getting people to come?
Well, I think it's coaching, because I think it's because, again, there was that time we had 5 stars, all of which have transferred out.
Right.
So it's almost like retention is the bad thing. You know what I mean?
Right. So then that would lead to, it is something about either his coaching style or a mentality he is putting as precedent in the locker room or something.
Yeah, which the players, when we do win, which is kind of rare nowadays, they do seem to rally around him. Like I think they like him, but a lot of these, when it comes down to like a Grace Van Sluten or Chance Gray or Filipina Che, I wouldn't blame them if at the end of the season they're like, I like Kelly Graves a lot, I like playing for Eugene, but if LSU or South Carolina or something like that. Maybe they want me, and maybe I could play for an actual winning team and be a big part of it. Yeah, I don't know. That's what it comes down
this
to.
is a much easier decision to make whenever you put yourself in the position of like the school as an institution that is required to make money.
Yeah.
Or on the chance not able to make money, to save money. At which case I would maybe be like, all right, well, the team is already bottom barrel. This guy's getting paid too much for having that level of a team.
But if you fire him because you signed that, you already did a contract. Like the cheaper thing to do right now, if that is
what
to
is
keep him around for a bit longer.
What is his contract?
I don't know if we know the actual details, but I know he signed it like not long ago. Like
okay, so you ride the contract and then you dump him and you bring in a rookie, a fresh-faced assistant coach from like Kentucky.
I mean, I don't mind taking a little bit of a swing, but going for like, let's take a chance on this person. But I'd also be down with a huge splash hire. Like, we got the money, we're freaking Nike. Come on, baby.
But do we? We can't even get our games on TV. You can't constitute spending a bunch of money on a head coach if you can't show that there's a desire for advertisement dollars. I mean, people are going to look at.
There's 7,000 people. There's advertisements all around the ring. Oregon women's basketball is not running money at a deficit. I mean, we have the money in Oregon athletics. There's a reason why all these transfers are coming over.
There's a reason why I believe there's a pending lawsuit going on right now, too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not for the women's basketball team, though.
Right, exactly.
It's almost like keeping Kelly Graves around, though, like, should get you the lawsuit because you're not taking women's basketball as seriously.
Right.
I agree.
That's the hard part to parse here is that I'm a human, so I'm obviously going to side with the players at all times. Or I should say, not because I'm a human, but because I'm a civilian in this scenario.
Yeah.
So I just side with the players. Whatever the players want to do, that's what they should be doing.
Well, there you go.
I don't know how to handle the Graves situation. If players think they need to leave, then go. By God.
It is a grave situation, dude.
Yeah.
So women's basketball, as far as the Pac-12 standings are concerned, they're 11th out of 12.
Wow.
And like our 2 wins, which when they happened, because it was the Arizona schools, I was like, hey, okay, maybe this is a surprising sign of optimism. We beat the Arizona schools, typically good. They have since, I mean, we knew ASU was bad, and they are bad. They are tied conference record with us, and we have one more win than they do.
Wow.
So we're above them.
Yeah.
And then
but are we?
Arizona's the team that's right above us. That's the other team that we beat in Pac-12 play. So they surprisingly suck. And they're above us right now. So like, if we get swept this weekend, that is very possible that we are actually at the very bottom of the Pac-12. But we're that close. We're that damn close. Yep.
You don't even get to go to the NIT for that, do you?
No. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, absolutely no.
Yeah.
So there's that. Aaron.
Is there a fate worse than death? Yes, it's not getting to go to the NIT.
I agree. I agree. Let us talk about one last thing, which is Duck men's basketball.
You will be happy to know that I did, in fact, do a little bit of game watching.
Oh my God.
So not only did I watch almost the entirety of the Arizona State game.
Oh my gosh.
I also quickly zapped through the Arizona game because I have DVR capabilities. And I have to tell you, I hate Xfinity for all the reasons that you possibly can.
Yeah.
If there's an issue that you can have with a company and their service providing, they got it. But one thing that works perfect is that college basketball on a DVR. When I watch that on my phone and I hit the skip button for commercial breaks, it's 2-minute breaks. So I just go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boom.
Bang, I'm right back in the game. I swear to God, it's the best way to watch college basketball.
That is awesome. That is great. Yeah, both
the one
these
thing
games...
Xfinity accidentally got right.
One thing that's very fun. I mean, okay, so we split these games. We beat Arizona State, and both these teams were hovering at the top of the Pac-12 play.
That's right.
We were tied actually with Arizona going into this weekend for first place in conference play. Now,
I did not know that.
We were tied, at the top. Beating Arizona for a little while put us, beating ASU for a little while put us like in sole possession of the top, especially because Arizona lost to Oregon State that same night.
I did know that.
In a buzzer beater 3 by Pope. But
I also heard that there was a lot of those.
Oh, buzzer beater? So, yeah.
In that game, there was a lot of 2 seconds left on the shot clock, trying to throw a 3 up, and it
just goaded. Well, so for a minute, we were in the sole possession there, but then Arizona comes. They snap their 6-game losing streak to us at Matt Night.
Right.
And they beat us, and unfortunately, they beat us pretty handedly in that Arizona game. I mean, it was not like a blowout, but they had a pretty quick 10-point lead, and they were holding
stayed that
on.
way.
Yeah. It felt like us having that slow start doomed us, because then they coasted the whole way.
That's the same thing, though, with Arizona State, though. It was a slow start. They were up by 20, and then by the end of it, we're up by 20. So you would kind of love to see that same scenario happen 2 times in a row, because you're like, oh, okay, we're just one of those we light it up second half kind of teams.
Well, like I said, too, it's hard to keep a good shooting team down for the whole time. And against Arizona State, we were like nearly like shooting 70% in the second half.
Yeah.
We were just electric. And I love the biggest highlight for me. There's a couple, actually. One was Dante. Someone passes out. So he dunks it, and after he dunks it, he does that little shimmy coming out. That was fun as hell. Also, Keyshawn Bartholomew, he's at the top of the key at one point. He's looking around, figuring out who he's going to pass it to. The Arizona State player does that classic defensive, like, kind of posturing move where they slap the floor. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Like both palms just slapping the floor to be like, come on, I'm ready to take you on. But the second he does that, Keyshawn like recognizing goes like, oh, okay, so he's not paying attention. The second he does that, he just goes, just a whoop, little mid shot, hits 2, like stares him down. That was awesome.
The announcers really had to point that one out too, which I thought was great, because I was like, we all watched that fool get
You have to call it out if it happens.
There's
so good.
There's some great, like, oh, you did not just, those kinds of movements.
I think
Arizona State game was really fun.
It was really fun because it was close, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. It's kind of exactly what you want. Really good crowd energy.
Yeah.
Also, Nate Biddle returning to the lineup. 2 7-footers now.
I was going to bring that up because first shot on the floor was a drained 3-pointer, baby, looking sharp. And then he's like, you know what? That was so nice. I'm going to go take a pee-pee. I'll be right back.
Yeah. That was basically it. And he's so tall, it takes it so long for his piss to hit the ground. So,
but he's saving time by having a longer stride. So in the end, it evens out with the regular man.
It evens out. Jermaine Couisnard is fast becoming our best offensive threat, I would say. He's so consistent.
He was showing lots of signs of life in that game.
He's powerful. He can drain clutch threes when you need them most. He scored 19 points in this. Dante scored 16 points. It was really nice to see Dante and Biddle out there at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you got more opportunities to watch Dante kind of be very good at both sides of the ball. I think because he had that extra help out there, he was able to get a couple of more, starring role moments on defense as well, because Biddle would have it locked up on the other side, so he'd get to have some fun.
Absolutely. And they didn't play
Like
long,
the big
but
the big palm smash,
Yeah.
that was
it's so good.
he should be on the volleyball team.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. And the football team, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, Biddle, they're clearly like slowly working him in from injury still, but the fact that he's getting minutes, this is huge. Like our full team is almost here.
Oh, that was the big question I had, was that I was noticing he was pretty much kind of off and on.
Yeah.
Almost the whole game. How many minutes did he actually get total?
Biddle?
Yeah.
I may have it. Yeah, I got right here. 12 minutes. 12 minutes.
Oh, that's not crazy. That's average.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, normally I think you'd be getting more if he was 100% healthy. Yeah, maybe 20, maybe a bit more even. Because he's really great. But Dan Altman said he wants to pepper him in. Like he doesn't want to push him too hard. Yeah.
Well, it makes a more dangerous team, because now as the opponent, you have to constantly be switching between tall man, fast man basketball.
Yeah. And like tall men that are like have energy instead of like, overplaying a Dante for 40 minutes,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we won this game. It felt absolutely amazing. We ended up shooting 50% from the floor, 40% from three, which you'll love to see.
I like to point out, though, there was a moment in the game, I believe the third quarter, where we were shooting 80%.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was cool. I just want to say that was fun at that one point, even though it ended lower. We still got that B.
Off the bench, as he's been doing for so much this season, and which is why it's going to be a bummer when we talk about this next game. Keyshawn Bartholomew really showed up. He had that one great moment I brought up earlier, but he was 5 of 6 from the floor, played 26 minutes, got 12 points, and then against Arizona, unfortunately, late in the game, got injured. It appeared to be a leg injury. He needed help getting off the court. Judging from a lot of the reactions from Dana Altman, from Dante, from his fellow players, it seems like it's a serious injury. We know he had to go to the hospital that night. It had to be evaluated. We're not 100% sure right now what's going on, but it's unfortunate for a veteran player, especially that's playing some of the best basketball of his career, if not the best basketball of his, like truly coming in his own right now, becoming like the sixth man, becoming a player that like when we needed somebody to do something, he was the guy we were sending in and he was answering. Really unfortunate that he got injured. We'll see if he can come back. Hopefully he can. Fingers crossed. We do not know as of right now. And on top of that, we lost the game. It was a game that if we would have won this one, if we would have been first place with a bullet, we would have had a tie-breaking win over Arizona. We would have added to our streak, but Arizona came to play. I think that's really what it felt like. Specifically, oh my God, Love on Arizona side, Caleb Love. Nothing was going to stop him. He almost broke the record for points scored at Matt Knight Arena. Like, he was just unguardable.
Wow.
And so Dana Altman against Arizona State said that the reason why we won is because of increased defensive effort. He said, we took some questionable shots there, and that's being nice. That got us out of rhythm. And defensively, we had 8 deflections the whole first half. We had 27 the second half. That gives you an idea of the difference in the intensity. So it's all about the intensity of the defense is what helped us out in that second half. Arizona we just looked out of sorts defensively from the get-go. They ran out to a real quick start. And oh my god. Oh, apparently this podcast bores me.
Why?
We just had terrible because we're talking about an Oregon Ducks loss. I hate it.
Yeah, it's the worst.
We allowed 45 points in the first half, 42 in the second half, 87-78. We lost in the end, and it honestly wasn't even that close. They were on, man. Caleb Love specifically cracked the game open for the Wildcats. He left this game 39 minutes, 36 points. He almost scored 1 point a minute. The classic Aaron stat line there. Yeah, dude. No one had a great game. Dante had a good game. He got 19 points. Only 5 rebounds. 20 points from Kuznard. Kuznard had a great game, honestly, but yeah.
You know what I realized, Adam?
What's that?
For my 1 point per minute plan to work correctly, you have to have 3 players doing it.
Achieve that? Well, you're probably going to win that game if that happens. That's for sure.
Yeah.
My point is, I just need one player to score me 70 points. That's it.
I just need one station to televise our women's game so that we can prove that there's value there, and maybe we'll actually have player retention.
That'll never happen. 14 turnovers really, really hurt us, and they were sloppy ass turnovers.
Yeah.
And Arizona has a pretty damn good squad. I mean, they're the best in the Pac-12 right now.
They stayed strong, 9 points ahead of us. I did see somebody on their squad got an injury at halftime, but I'm assuming they're okay.
I do believe so. I want to say it was Pele Larson. I want to say, but
yeah, it was somebody that they liked.
He came back though. They played strong, and what can I say, man? That sucked. The injury to Keyshawn blows. That stinks. That really hurts.
I did see also, I'm fairly certain, a rebound by Dante, and he even brought that back for 2 points, I think, right? Is there truth inside that reality? Did he do that?
Probably. I'm willing to say yeah.
Okay. Let's say he did it 3 times then.
We've got the Arizona schools out. It's a road trip to LA. I said it. I meant to say LA schools. February 1st, we're playing USC, and on the 3rd, we're playing UCLA. But neither of those schools are good. Surprisingly, UCLA is 9-11, 4-5 in conference play, and then USC is the very bottom of the Pac-12 with only 2 conference wins. We should beat both of them. We very could lose either, though. Especially,
you said once at the beginning of this season that we should beat a certain school, and then they ended up beating us.
Well, yeah. I mean, what can I say?
But wait, was that the women's team too?
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
We are that tiny school from Southern California,
Santa Clara.
Yeah,
they beat us. They beat both of our teams.
Right. Okay. That's what it was. It was both of them.
So we're tied with Arizona technically at the top, but they have the tiebreaker. But hey, I mean, there's a really tight competition. We could solidify. I mean, we could get to number 1 overall this weekend if the cards play out right. We could drop down 3 or 4 spots if they don't. So
all things have happened in the past. All things will happen in the future.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Aaron, any words of wisdom to take us out of this habit?
I think I just said it.
Oh shit, you did. Fuck. Well, I don't know. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Bye.
Go Dicks.
Go Dicks.